Hi, this is Mark with your analysis for the week commencing the 10th of April. A lot of things technically been going on in recent weeks. I showed you the other week how this pin bar candle formation on the Aussie Dollar Yen and on multiple pairs, it was on the Aussie Dollar, it was on the Euro Yen and various others, so have a look through. But I showed you how this gave you a clue that price was likely to bounce back up here, and lo and behold, that's what has happened. Now with this Aussie Dollar Yen, we were able to use this last week. We were looking down here for an entry down around 83.50, and I was talking in terms of my overall target being here at 8800. So from here to here we had a 440 pip move. Had you left some of the trade running, it's actually 650 pips in front. Dean similarly with his simple trend trading strategy within the Mentor Pro members area, he's currently 270 pips up on a New Zealand dollar trade that he showed you in advance, and today he shows you how he's managing that trade. Now the thing is, these have been some very big moves, and very rarely does the market continue to just race on up, but we work the standard practice. If you're not in this trade already, then you look for a pullback to the area of the breakout, and the previous major area of resistance was here around 8800, and that is where I will be looking for this week for a potential pullback with a view for a further long. This is the British pound on a weekly, and in recent weeks this has gone on for about 8 weeks. Price has been bouncing off 6300 and then bouncing back off 160. And what I was saying to you last week is I would need a break above 16300, and here we have on the weekly chart an interesting scenario. This is some lines that we've had on here going back months, and price came up and slammed into it again on Friday. This is the daily chart. On a daily, we've now had a break of this 63.30, 63.40 area once again, and therefore again you're looking for a potential continuation move up, but to catch it we need a pullback, and the ideal pullback zone will be 6300 down here with a view to a further long. Be careful this week. What I was just alluding to is the fact that price rarely storms ahead, and the dollar basically took a severe beating last week from all the currencies. And another thing we've been discussing is about the fact that if you trade with the trend, then you will have fewer losers and you will have less stress. And once again last week, virtually all the pairs that we looked at continued in their trend. What may well happen this week, the dollar budget crisis, when there was talk of the US government grinding to a halt, is now over, but it happened after market close. So it's quite possible that the dollar may on Monday have a pullback, and it could be quite a strong pullback, so you need to be careful. Don't be in too many dollar trades at the same time. Anyway, this is the pound dollar, so we're on a move up. We need a pullback, and as I said to you, 16300 would be the area for me. This is the Euro Yen on a monthly. This is a triangle breakout we watched for months and months. We waited for this to happen, and if you took the trade down here, then that's 1100 pips in front. If you caught it all the way on the way to pull back down to the trend line, then we've got 1600 pips here. Remember that the theory of a triangle breakout suggests that this could go 6000 pips. So once again, we need an entry. What happened last week? Well, last week price simply broke through the previous area of support and resistance and just kept going. So once again, we need a pullback. You will notice now price is riding the Bollinger Band, and the Bollinger Band are likely to go here, and as you will know, 99% of the time price will return to the Bollinger. So I am looking for a pullback on this pair. The logical area for me here on a daily chart, the best area is a pullback to 120. If it doesn't get back down all that way, then you're going to have to watch around 121 again, because that's where it stopped the other day. But 120, if we get a big pullback, that will be the best area. And another thing on a fundamental basis is that the Eurozone announced the fact that Portugal needs a bailout. Everybody's expected it for months. They've lied their way through it. A lot of them said, oh no, we don't need it. Now they need it. They just completely ignored this on Friday, and price just kept shooting up on the euro. However, they've had the weekend now to think about things, and it may well be that the euro will have a pullback, and combine that with the fact that the dollar may have a mild rally after last week's kicking, and you could find that the Euro USD does a severe pullback. 143 was the logical area, and on Friday, after the interest rate news, Thursday was messy with the interest rate. Friday it pulled on ahead, and as I say, it could now have a pullback, and 14300 was the main area. That is the main area we'll look at. Once again, the daily Bollinger will go here. Some kind of pullback should be inevitable, but as I say, on a longer term, it could well be that we get down to 143. It could even get lower, but that's the area for me to be considering. This is US dollar yen on a weekly, and this is a line we've had in place for weeks, and price spiked through during the week last week, and what did it do? It stopped to the pip on this support and resistance line. So once again, if you were trading this on a weekly, you would still be waiting. You would be waiting for price to break and close above here, then with a pullback, and off you go. If you're trading on a daily, that is where we are at the moment. Perhaps the best way to do is leave this till after the market opens, and then have a look when it gets around at 200 EMA, which also happens to be 8400 psych level and some previous support and resistance. This is the Euro GBP on a monthly, and this is another triangle breakout we looked at. And I said to you last week, look for a pullback down here to around 87.20, and those of you who caught it were 140 odd pips there. And these are simple technical trades. These are trades taken from triangle pattern breakouts. These are trades taken from candle formations. And talking of candlestick formations, look at this euro pound on a weekly. What do we have here? That is a massive pin bar candle, which strongly suggests that this is going to continue to go up. We have broken and closed above a weekly 78.6, which is highly significant. We've had this big pullback to 87.20. It suggests this is going to keep going up. And as the Eurozone increased their interest rates and the British pound did not, then it is reasonable to presume this is going to keep going. If it's going to keep going, where are we going to get in? Well, the logical area would be a pullback to 8800 with a view to a further long. I would not be interested in a short. This is the dollar Swissy. I don't normally trade this. I tend to use this for correlation with the euro. However, at the moment, this may be more tradable than the euro. If you take a look here, last week we were talking in terms of 92.30 a short, and the short at 92.30 is now a few hundred pips below. Once more, we need a pullback. We either need a pullback up here to around 9100, or we need a breakout from this area, then a pullback with a view to a further short. This is the Aussie dollar. Now, the Aussie dollar has been on a tear. We're now up in areas that are uncharted before, and therefore technically we can't really compare with what has gone on in the past. This was the weekly chart, big candle. It is outside the Bollinger again. The Bollinger will go here, and therefore it's reasonable to presume we will get at least some pullback. And the big area, the psych level there is 1.050, so that would be an area to look at. But be careful with this, guys. It's very rare, as I said earlier, that price will keep going. I put a fib on here because I was trying to work out why price has stopped here. There was no other reason I could see. And you put a fib of the recent move and it stopped bang on 121.4. That's the only thing I can see here. For me to take this trade, I need a pullback. 1.05 will interest me. The best area really will be down here at 1.041 area. But be careful, as I say, it's quite reasonable to presume that this may well have a big pullback. Final one is the CAD. We were talking last week about the CAD, and I said look for a considerable pullback to 9700 area, and I know a few of you in the forum caught this, and this did go altogether 150 odd pips. The CAD has been falling for years. We are now back down into the price zone from 2 or 3 years ago. We have been lower than here. I did say at the start of the year I suspected this could go down to 90. Once again, we need a pullback. And a logical area for me for the pullback would be this 96.20. If you have a look on your weekly chart, you will see that there was support and resistance here a few years ago, and it was important last week as well. So that would be the main area. I'm always a little wary when we're at extremes here and price is pushing down. The first area to consider here is 95.26, but that's really not big enough a pullback for me. Okay, it's extreme moves we're having. We need pullbacks. And just be wary of the fact that the dollar may well fight back Monday morning, and you could see big reversals on all pairs. So the watchword is to be cautious, and as I said earlier, only be in $1 trade at a time. Okay, lots of news this week. I will update you in the members area tomorrow. Have a great week.